What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Chemical X. This is actually episode 11, which is my favorite number, so I'm excited for that.
Really?
Yeah. Because my birthday is December 11th. I don't know. I love
ugly.
Anyway, welcome back. We had a really good episode last weekend with Pascal, and we hope you guys listened. It was really interesting.
If you didn't, you still have fucking time. Cause
Yeah,
it's on YouTube.
after this one. Finish this one and then go listen to the other one. But we wanted to just say a quick shout out, so I guess you guys can see that I'm wearing my dirty ass fucking headphones, earphones. But I'm wearing them today because I want to show off my hair that we just got done by a really, really lovely girl called Juju. So she does hair from home, and she also did Alessia's hair.
I know. How pretty is it? It's super
Show the
wavy.
waves. Show the waves.
Yeah. So basically we washed our hair and she did the rest.
Yeah.
Which is fucking nice because who the hell likes doing their hair?
Yeah.
Not me.
So she came over and she literally does everything. Like, she's like a mobile hairdresser. So she came, did our hair. Like, she did me these really cute braids, put some sparkles in it, but you can't really see. I look like I'm going to a festival. And this was my choice, though. But no, she's really good.
She comes with everything. The blow dryer, everything, all the products.
Yeah. And no, it was really good. So if you guys are looking for a hairdresser, for an event, for anything.
For a photo shoot, anything. She will come to you.
Yeah, and I'll put her Instagram in the description so that you guys can go find her on Instagram. And she's super nice, super sweet. Literally will go anywhere in Montreal. So Montreal, Laval, wherever you're located. If you guys need a hairdresser for a festival that we're not having this summer, but you know what I mean? Anything that you do have.
You're actually festival ready.
I'm best, but I love, it's because I have such short hair that I'm like, I don't even know what to do with my hair. Yeah. It's like I either get curly or straight and that's it. There's no
first,
styles.
I'm not going to lie, when you're like, I'm doing pigtails, I'm like, holy shit. Between the headphones and the pigtails, I'm like, how is that going to look? But
that's
she made it work. It's so nice.
Earphones.
But you've done this once before, right?
No, I used to do it all the time. But it's like so annoying. Like, you know, when you do braids, it's like your arms are fucking tired after. Like, actually. I only do it if somebody else does it for me, or else I'm like, honestly.
Are you able to do a French braid though?
Yeah, I could do it, but it's like, and my hair is so short. Like, it's really like, I can't deal. I always get other people to do it for me because I'm like, I would rather not. Like, my arm is numb by the time I'm done one. And it's like one braid takes an hour, and then you're like, I have to do the other one.
And then you see somebody do it for you in 5 minutes, and you go, I'm going to get it professionally done.
I'm never doing this again, essentially. But yeah, so really nice. Check her out. She's honestly the best. And yeah, she's really cool. So we're ready to go. We're looking hot for this podcast. Last time
I honestly, like, I'm obsessed with your hair like this. I can't even tell you how it suits you so much.
So the second episode of Alessia wanting to fuck me. Guys, nothing new here. It's always the same old compliments from Alessia. If you're seeking a compliment, I like your hair too. It looks really good.
So Montreal, if you'd like to open up any festivals, we are actually ready. Well, I'm not.
I'm ready. I got the sparkles in my hair. I was like, I hope it doesn't look like dandruff on video. No. So guys, if it shines the wrong way, just so you know, it's actually sparkles and it's not dandruff. It's actually because she literally said, "Oh my god, I love doing this. Like, I do it on like kids parties." I went, "So you think I'm a kid?" Shani, you're just so cute. I was like, "So I'm a kid. I am a kid, but
you are a kid.
I don't blame her. I'm a kid. I asked for braids and pigtails. I mean, starts from there." She said, "I might as well throw in the fucking sparkles as well."
What was the other hairstyle you were maybe gonna do?
Straight.
Boring.
It's because I swear short hair.
I thought you were gonna do the space.
Oh my god. Okay, guys. My boyfriend is obsessed. He saw one picture of me once in space buns when I was like rotten and 13 years old and had neon pink hair. And every time I'm like, babe, should I do my hair straight or curly? Space buns. I'm like, what is this? 2013 Aroshiaga? Like, space
You're like, I don't
buns.
feel like having two meatballs on my head.
Yeah, and I'm like, with the headphones, the too little, like, no.
And like, let's be real. A girl, to feel pretty, they need their hair. The second it's so tied up, you go.
And also, at the time when I had done them, like, in the picture, I had long hair. So, like, I had buns. Yeah. Like, this is what? I'm going to have two little onions. Like,
do you remember when
two little garlics
were a thing?
What?
Sock buns were a thing, and we were rolling it in, and if you didn't have one, you cut the end of your sock and you rolled it into a donut, and you like.
There was a lot of things that were fucking rotten. But remember?
I look back at that stage of like sock buns, and like it was a trend to have, and I literally go, Alessia, what were you thinking? That was the ugliest thing you've ever done.
My worst trend, not my worst trend, but I always think back to this and I cringe. Is you remember like literally Sec 1, Sec 2, bangs were so in, like the. Like, do you know what I mean?
And
I remember
just check on my Facebook.
I used to cut with a razor. I don't know if you did this, but like, you know when you didn't go to the hairdresser in a long time, like to redo like your like layers. Bangs? Like, I would cut with a razor to make it a bit shorter, and then I would redo my layers. You remember when it was that thing to have that Avril Lavigne?
Well, don't tell the hairdresser who came today. Yeah, she would be literally what the pissed.
Fuck? Now I have not one layer in my hair. Back then, I used to have, you know, like layer, and we used to tease it. Like, oh my God. And we used to be like,
no, it was the
I don't have bangs right now, but it was
it, but then you brought it back
bumped it.
And then you did the peace sign.
And then you did this from up with a camera up here, like for MySpace.
The nicer your bangs were, the hotter you were.
I remember some girls would literally have their bangs coming from the side of their face. Like, I was
even
like,
guys.
Like, guys, do you remember when guys had that?
No, I can't.
That their hair started from here and it wrapped around their whole head.
And we thought they were cute. That also probably turned out to be gay.
Well, Justin Bieber is one of them, so. And we thought they were so cute. We said, look at Evan with his fucking.
His not even a mullet.
Oh, we weren't better. We were with our
mushroom cut. Literally.
Do you remember, like, you would like straighten your hair and then pump the top, and then you would straighten curl the back, and it was all just like,
it was all scary.
And we were using that $2 Walmart straightener that didn't or the back of our head was all curly.
And that's why even when I see like plastic surgeons and stuff comparing like an actress or whatever, a model from like 5 years old to 22 years old, it's like, okay, calm down.
You
like,
compare me?
She got injected, but like her face, like she also changed, her hair changed. Like, calm the fuck down on.
If you would do a before and after of me, they would start saying all kinds of shit. I would be, sweetie, I'm not that rich. I could only afford one nose job, and that's it. Sorry. I'm glad you think I have the money for that. But like I said, I have a bed sheet on my wall. So like, and I'm wearing dirty ass earphones, and Alessa's wearing $2 headphones. So if you think
you're also wearing, guys, lately every time I come to Veronica's, she goes, Alessia, what did you bring me for the podcast? We're running out of clothes. It's a bit like I just got that dress. Veronica's wearing it, so I'm just gonna shout out that it's mine.
Yeah,
I'm pulling in my my 2 seconds.
I was like, Alessia's the type of person. She's like super generous, and like she'll like let you borrow anything, like even if it's new.
I mean,
but then it's like
me in the best light.
And then it's like you try it on, and she's like, I can tell she's going, take it off.
Yeah.
It looks good on you. Take it the fuck off right now. You know what I mean? It's like you're almost.
But no, I would never.
It's like, okay, now I see that it looks really good on you.
Take it off.
Maybe.
I'm like, Veronica, it's supposed to be a dress, but it's with your ass. It's actually a tank top. So
it's a top on me. Like I was like before, I was like, oh my god, this top is so small. The thing about ordering online though, like, okay, you got this from Shein, right? She's always ordering. Every time she comes to my house, got this, Shein. I'm like, okay, like, I don't get it. I go on and I see 6 months delivery, and I'm it's not gonna be summer anymore. Like, but you buy the whole website.
It depends. Like, if you order after a certain amount, you get fast shipping, you know? So that's what's great.
Well, guys, this isn't a sponsor, but Shein. Clearly, if you want to sponsor us, Alessia will be glad to.
But Shein's one of those sites where you either order and everything comes out good, or something see-through. I order like 6 bathing suits, one fits me, and I'm like, okay, I should have just invested.
But you paid them all $3.
I'm more expensive. Yeah. At that point, I think I'm saving, but I'm not.
But you're not. You're buying 6 for one to fit.
No. Next time, I'm just gonna buy a good quality.
And then everything's see-through. What's too small on one side? The string's broken. It's a very like, you work with it. You work with what you get. It's $3, but you know there's your nonna has to sew the rest of it. She's going. You're going, but free labor works out. You're saying, nonna, you see, she's going, questa Shein. Questa Shein.
Where'd you get this?
Comprato questo. Literally. Like,
guys, apparently we're going to switch to Italian today.
Like, I don't know. I guess I'll put subtitles. I remember when it was really the style. Do you remember when it was like those wrinkly, like my dad used to wear these shirts that were like linen, but they were like pre-wrinkled. Like it was the style. You know what I mean? And he brought like his laundry to my grandmother's house to do, and he comes home and she's ironing the shirt. Ironing. He's like, Ma, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, Ma, it's not coming out. Like, what the fuck did you do to this? And he's like, it's supposed to be like that. Like, what are you doing? Ruined his top. Literally ruined the top.
Oh my god.
The amount of time she also like, he would get like these ripped, you know, like the Guess jeans. Like they were like, it wasn't when ripped jeans were in. God. It was just like the holes like here and there. Like that kind of like guy at first when ripped jeans started getting in. She would literally patch the holes in his jeans. And he'd be like, Ma, like I literally paid like $150 for these, and you just ruined them. Like, Honestly,
we gotta
hilarious.
love them though. Honestly, they're always like at our beck and call when we need something fixed,
and
when
hungry.
we need a nice bit of pasta. So.
Literally. But no, honestly, hilarious. Grandparents don't understand the idea of fashion and anything. You come with ripped jeans and you're getting roasted at your family event.
I'll never forget. I was going to my boyfriend's grandmother's place, and I wasn't aware I was going, so whatever. I just had whatever I had already there, and he's like, you know, like she's a bit like strict, like don't wear like ripped jeans, and I'm like, well, I have this one, but there's like a little bit of a rip, and he's like, it's fine, whatever. So I have anxiety going there. I'm like, oh my god, is she actually? She was a principal teacher and everything, so like she's like super.
She's like no spaghetti straps.
Rules, but like, so I'm like, oh my god, like I only have these pants with the rip, so I'm like, what am I gonna do? Anyway, so whatever, I go and I'm like, hey, it's not like the ones like the 5 rips. It's one and it's small. Anyway, so we get there and then she didn't say anything, and then we're leaving or we're walking out. I was also sitting though. We're leaving and walking out. She goes, you didn't have any pants without holes in them? Your girlfriend can't afford pants without holes in them? I'm like,
no, I can't deal when people do that.
I'm like, okay. Like my grandmother says it to me too, but like,
it's like
when you get that, it's like,
oh my god.
Actually, it's the stilo, but.
And how do you explain? Every time I go to my grandparents' house, I explain to them what I do for a living, and it's always you know, marketing, you know, like, you know, I design, like, you know, they're advertisement, like, I take the pictures.
They're like, she works at a desk.
And then I just say, you know, I work on the computer, and I leave it at that, because they're not going to, and they just say, wow.
Oh my God. I actually wanted to say something though. I was with my mom and I was eating dinner, and I was like, my mom doesn't really watch the podcast, but she, I guess, saw the one of the tampon story, and she's like, and when that whole story happened, and she brought me to the doctor, I forgot to mention this, but she was like, so embarrassed for me when she found out I was a tampon. She's like, when you call your boyfriend, you should probably say like something, and you took a pill and it went away. Like, she's like, I would be embarrassed if I were you. Like,
oh my God,
like, don't say that it was a tampon. Like, it's embarrassing. And she's like, don't you? And I'm like, Mom, who cares? Literally 5 seconds later, I went, babe, I was a tampon. Like.
That's when you know you're in
a relationship. My mom was like embarrassed for me. She's like, you're not embarrassed saying these stories on
I feel like
the podcast? Like,
I feel like older
generations, you really want
to
like air out this information. I'm like, Mom, I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't.
I mean, that's what we're here for. But I feel like older generations are a little bit more like, cautious. Don't say this, don't say that, like sneaky. And I'm like, I feel like now we're so like, take me as I am, bitch.
No,
like,
literally, or don't take me at all.
Yeah, it's literally, it's so comfortable and like stuff, but. It's
and
nice.
Then I went, she was
like
probably
that.
Listening to the sex toys one, everything.
Yeah.
She's probably going, Alessia, you sure you want that? She's like, how do you like she's like, you like the idea that like somebody's going to meet you and like already know like this whole like persona who you are. And I'm like, Mom, like if they're judging me and they're not into me, like perfect, because I'm not into that. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want somebody a friend or anybody that's like.
I feel like if anything, we're just... we're like going through the process faster. Like, well, if you don't like me on the podcast, then you're not gonna like me in real life. If you don't like me
with a tampon in my vagina, then sorry.
For 2 weeks.
Go get a guy.
But I feel like, a lot of people, like I keep getting in trouble for saying stories on the podcast that people don't want me to say or whatever. It's so crazy. Like when you have a podcast, you're so ready to say everything about your life, and everybody else is like, excuse me.
And we're also like, we're at the gym, guys, and we're talking to Ryan, our trainer, and his phone falls and we go, podcast story. Like, guys, now we're just like, fuck, anything that happens to us, we're like, shoot it on the podcast.
And it's like, don't talk about, we're going to talk about it on the podcast. Like, save it. We won't talk about it.
But yeah, you were coming to.
Yeah, so anyway. Honestly, I was waiting. I was trembling. Literally anything that happens, guys, I'm so ready to say it on the podcast. I'm like, let's shoot right now. Like, so craziest thing that happened to me, like, what a crazy story. So I'm driving the other day going to work. It's 10. I'm late already. I left my house late,
Classic.
but I got into traffic. I'm late. I'm like, blame it on the traffic, whatever. So it's like really crazy traffic, and I see like fire trucks coming and all kinds of shit, and I'm like, accident, like whatever. Like, what do you want me to do? Really? Like, I'm actually stuck in traffic. Like, that's the reason I'm late.
Do you message your boss and say, hey, I'm going to be 5 minutes late when you're actually 45?
I mean, listen, if I'm really late, then I'll say it, but not if I'm not that late. I'm just I just slip in there. But anyway, so I'm driving. I start seeing like fire trucks. I'm like, hey, accident. Like, I'm literally getting nowhere today. It's literally a parking lot, okay? So I start like getting to where the accident is. Like, they have all those things. It's down to one lane. So I'm like merging. I look. And then I'm like, whoa, like, it's 3 cars. They're fucked up. I'm like, you know, like, you feel like that, like, oh my God, crazy. Like, I hope everybody's okay.
And you also always put yourself in that scenario and you're like, hey, wait, like, imagine that was me.
Like, it's so crazy. So I'm looking and I'm like, oh my God, the cars are really fucked up. Like, I'm freaking out. And then I'm looking and I'm like, oh my God, is that my sister? And then I'm like, can be. So I keep driving and, you know, when you're like, no, it can't be, like, but you know what? Let me just check. Like, I just had the vibe, like, let me just check and make sure that wasn't my sister. And I don't know why I had that, because I was like, I know it's not her, but I need to double check. So I call her and she doesn't answer. And I'm like, I know that she's going to answer and say, bitch, what the fuck? That's not me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I call her again, doesn't answer. And then I text her, I'm like, are you okay? And she literally writes back, how do you know? And I'm like, what? You don't understand. I'm driving, texting. If the police are listening, stop listening. But I'm driving, I'm texting. I'm literally trembling. I'm like, oh my God, like, I cannot believe you just made me late for work. No, I'm kidding. But I'm like, I can't believe I literally just drove by the accident that you got in. Like,
no, you're going, I can't believe you actually got me out of 3 hours of work. Thank you so much. If you can do this weekly, that'd be great.
Anyway,
but don't get hurt.
She answers me like by the time I get to work. So I walk in and I'm like, hey, I'm late, but also I was late because of an accident, but also it's my sister. I just found out. God. Like, what the fuck?
It's a bit like, just say your dog ate your car. Like at this point, like
I was like, what? It was so wild that I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
Did you bring her to the hospital?
So I was texting her. I was like, hey, look, I guess I'll come and see you. Like, where are they bringing you? Because she had like kind of hurt herself. But like, thankfully, she's okay. So like, spoiler alert, she's good. But she was freaking out. So I went to get her at the hospital, and it was just like, anyways, hospital, COVID. That's another thing. They almost pulled out a gun when I walked in. They were like, you can't come in. You have to put on 2 masks. I was like, okay, like, enough. Like,
no.
I was
masks.
It's because I was already wearing a mask, and then he gives me like this blue one, you know, like the medical one. And he's like, no, you have to wear this one. He's like, put it on top. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna double it. I already can't breathe in this thing. Like, I'm
no, but you actually can't breathe. Like, I was in the mall shopping with like a mask, and I was like, how am I supposed to go to Sephora and try on a foundation now that I'm getting tanner and I need a darker foundation? Like,
it's 3 weeks to wait in line at Sephora, so it doesn't matter.
Oh my God,
you're dead before you even get inside.
Basically, I'll stay home.
Yeah, but anyways, really crazy story. I literally cannot believe. And then the other day, my boyfriend's friend is like, by the way, tell your sister I say thanks. She made me late for work the other day. But like, so crazy. Honestly, I'm laughing now.
Like, what happened? Like, who was first?
I think it was just like there's always like
your sister always was like texting and driving. Perfect.
No, there's always like traffic on the 15, and like it suddenly stops, and the same thing happened to me. So guys, I actually got into an accident in an Uber. Like, who gets into an accident in an Uber? Like, you get in an Uber and for some reason you feel like you're way safer, so you don't put on your seatbelt.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I
you're
mean?
not.
There's something about getting into an Uber that you're like, this guy, I trust this guy.
It's because you're not driving.
Yeah,
you know?
but
so you feel like, oh, I can actually focus on myself.
But you're just like, I trust this guy. You just get in. And there's something about getting into an Uber that you just never put your seatbelt on.
That story kills me.
So I'm going to work again. I'm always these car accidents. Always going to work. So I'm going to work. It's nighttime because I work at a club. And I'm in the back of my Uber, no seatbelt, chilling, texting, because there's always traffic. It's the same place that my sister got into an accident. So there's always traffic. So I'm like sitting, texting. All of a sudden, like, my body is getting whipped around the car. I have no idea what's going on. Like, I just remember being like, like, do you know what I mean? And then everything stops and you're like, hold on, where am I? Like, the window was like, we're at a 45-degree, literally. The window behind me is shattered. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Where's my phone? Like, where am I? And I'm with the Uber driver, guys. I reach over and I hold his hand. Are you okay? Like, I don't even know this guy.
That's what you did?
You know when you're like freaking out and he turns around, he's bleeding.
Well, normally it's the Uber driver or like the passenger seat who holds the child, everything, like,
but
Veronica from the back's going, excuse me.
But he's turning around, like, we're all like, what just happened? And in an accident, your first thing is to just like reach out for somebody. Wow. So I reach out, we grab each other, we're like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, are you good?
Now I know if I get in an accident with you, you're gonna take care of me.
Oh my God, no, we were literally freaking out. My phone flew around the car, like, all the windows were broken. We were on top of another car. We couldn't get out of the car. Like, our doors were smashed in. So we were like a 4-car accident. Anyways, it was just like crazy. Thank God we were not hurt. Yeah. So we get out of the car and we're like on the side of the highway, and we were on top of another car. So I had to get out of the car, jump on another car and get down, right? So in all this, I'm literally sitting on the side of the road, like, broad makeup because I'm going to work. I look like a hooker
God.
in the back of his car. I'm standing there on the side of the road. There's other people. Literally, there's other people around, like other people. There was 4 people in the accident. The girl in front of us was like, she's like, you don't understand. I literally thought you guys were dead. Like, she's like, I was praying in my car, praying that you guys would be alive. Like, it was really scary. And then the officers come up to me and they're like, is that your car? I'm like, yeah, that's the car I was in. They're like, okay, who owns it? I'm like, him. They're like, okay, what's his name? I'm like, I don't know. They're
Check
like, what
the
do you?
Uber app.
They're like, what do you mean you don't know? I'm like, he's my Uber driver. They're like,
God.
it was really like I got into the accident, but then at least I got to leave and not worry about anything. Like I just went.
That's like the best kind of scenario you want to be in. You don't want it to be your car.
No. So
you literally leave like an Uber.
You say, see ya.
No. So good luck, Gabe, and everything. You held his hand, so you gave him that.
I gave him that.
You showed him that you're nice.
Like we were freaking out.